On today's show, we have some leaked things regarding the Star Wars Star Cruiser. Bob Chapek is potentially asked not to make an appearance at D23. We have some updates on some CDC guidelines, as well as there's going to be a lot more travelers potentially coming to Walt Disney World. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit about dining. That's today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 337 of Traveling with the Mouse. My name is Jason. Oh, wait, no, my name is John.
Yeah.
I'm filling in for Jason, right? And I am being joined by Adam.
What's up, everybody?
I already had my theme park line that I was going to do this week and everything. I guess I'll just have to put it in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Unless I just want to introduce myself. And I'm also joined by... Oh, no.
Jason will get to hear this on his road trip. He's on a road trip this weekend.
Right.
Traveling not with the mouse, because he's not here.
Not this time. well, and he won't be going to the mouse either. I mean, not this time.
No.
And as I understand it, you're going out of town, too.
Yes, I am already out of town as we speak.
As we speak. Just like
Yes.
You're very amazing in that way.
Yes. No, I am also out of town in the greenest state in the land of the free, Tennessee.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
That's according to Davy Crockett song from Disney Plus.
Oh, excuse me. I totally that one totally went over my head. I should have figured that one out.
Yeah, I stumbled on this old thing on Disney Plus called Davy Crockett and the River Pirates.
Ah, yes. Never saw that before.
No, never, ever.
We didn't watch it growing up at all.
Yeah, we didn't have it recorded on VHS from the Disney Channel back in the day.
Nope, not at all. Didn't probably both versions.
Yeah, we could just about recite it, I think.
Yeah, as we could give you a recreation, I guess we'll call it, of the sound effects of the rifles.
Yeah. If anybody wants to hear us like reenact those, I don't know if that's worth paying extra for, but
no, we just gave it away for free anyway.
Right. Well, we could reenact the whole series for you, both the River Pirates and the Keelboat Race. What was that one called?
It was all the same. It was so called. It was.
I thought there were two different titles though.
I don't remember what they were called now. They were all put together as Davy Crockett and the River Pirates, and after when all was said and done, but they were two separate. I think they were meant to be two of the television show that they kind of turned into a feature-length film.
Movie kind of thing.
It was almost like two mini series or something like that they turned into a movie or something like that.
Yeah,
they did it because it was in two parts. You had the race, like you said, and then you had the
River Pirates.
The conclusion whenever they caught up with the.
Right.
True River Pirates, I guess, the Mason and the Harps Brothers.
Yeah.
That's that there Mason and the Harps Brothers.
Right.
Anyway.
All right, that was a long sidetrack, yeah.
Yeah, we just, we have the freedom to do
Sorry,
that. Sorry,
Jason,
week,
for, I'm just going to talk like I'm talking to Jason on his road trip. So.
Okay.
Sorry for the
talk
sidebar,
directly
Jason.
to him.
Yeah, sorry about that sidebar.
We'll have a pause at certain points, and we'll say on a story. We'll be like, "And Jason, what do you think?" And then he'll just speak out loud in the car.
Yeah, I'll just say what I think he's going to say.
No one else will hear him. Okay,
moving on.
Moving along. So I kind of wanted to touch base real quick.
Okay.
Before we do some news.
Home base, first base, second base, third base. Sorry. I was trying to make a baseball reference so we could talk about the Braves winning the World Series. We haven't even talked about
we haven't even mentioned that? We should have mentioned it last week, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we never
They had already won it, I think.
Yep. We didn't
yes,
talk
of course.
about it.
Our hometown Braves won the World Series.
Yeah.
It's weird because, you go into the World Series or into the playoffs in general sometimes, and you just kind of on edge because you're like, they might be good enough. It always felt like it was in hand this time for whatever reason. Like they were actually, you would have been surprised.
And here's a story, Jason, that I'm going to tell about us. He was at my house the night they clinched the World Series. against the Dodgers, and we just were like, yeah, I think they're gonna do it. Like we were
you mean the NLCS?
Where when they clinched, when clinched going to the World Series, I should say. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Right, when they beat the Dodgers to go to the World Series. NLCS, like you said. We were like, yeah, it just feels like they think they're gonna do it. Like I think they're gonna win. Even when they lost game 5, it was just like, I think they're gonna win. It didn't feel like, oh no, they're gonna blow it. It felt like, they'll probably win one of the last 2. So anyway.
What do you think about Freddie, by the way? You think he's gonna stay?
I hope they
you think he's going to walk? I hope they keep him.
I hope they keep him. Yeah, I hope they make him an offer he can't refuse. That's mine.
Okay.
You got to keep Freddie Freeman.
So they're going to threaten him to stay?
Right. If he has a favorite horse, just be careful. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't have any.
Anyway.
Moving on.
What I was about to say.
You're going to touch base. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On dining.
Yes, dining. Mm-hmm.
I do have a trip scheduled that we're going to take, a short one, in January over Martin Luther King. So my brother's actually going to meet a whole week, so we're just going to kind of meet up for him for just a little bit. And as far as I know, Jason's going to be there too, so we'll probably actually touch base somewhere at some point, depending on how this goes. Yeah. So,
currently you're at the same hotel, right? Are you going to change?
I never say never, but I don't intend to. Let's put it that way.
Right. You always change like 4 times before you settle on a hotel.
I have been known to keep looking, and then if something's like, oh, this is available, okay, I'm going to switch. But I don't see that happen in the current environment very much.
Yeah.
Like something opening up.
Yeah, good point.
So it's not very likely. And it's not very likely to be something worth it to switch to.
Right. That's another good point. So
I think the last, 3 times maybe? I might have done it I might have done it for the last 10 years for all I know. I can't remember that. I didn't end up with the one I initially started with. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said before, every time that I've ever tried Animal Kingdom, I've always changed it. So,
right.
Thus far. What I was going to get to is the 60-day mark did come up this past week.
Okay.
And I happened to be awake the day before my window was open.
Okay.
So I was just going to look on the day that was available, even though I wasn't going to be there, just for the heck of it, just to see
the day before, sure. Mm-hmm.
See how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I did look, and so when that happened, I actually did the same thing. I was up the next day before, and I actually had my party that I wanted, to look for, put together, and so I had it set, and if I click on the day that's I'm supposed for my first day for it, it's there, but I can't actually see any restaurants, right? So my thinking on this is, okay, this is working kind of like I'm able to put my boarding group together, so to speak.
Sure.
My party first. And then when the clock rolls over, I can just refresh it, and then there's the restaurants, right? And so that's exactly how it worked.
Okay.
I refreshed it, and there's the times. I like that as an improvement. As I said before, inside the Disney Genie, I do like that it shows the dining on the day you're in and showing how that's going as far as how the availability goes. Mm-hmm. But another thing that was pretty cool about it was you could do that, pick the day, and just scroll down like that if you want to. But you could also use the location part, to go to look for exactly where you want, right? And then hit the reserve dining there. And then it has a list of times, right? You have the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. You have that. But then you have specific times, as they've always had before as well. What I've noticed is if you pick breakfast, lunch, or dinner, the times they give you are pretty much when they want you to pick. But if you search for a specific hour, it gives you the closest one to that hour within, 2 to 3 hours, something like that. So the one thing that was good about this was similar to what I experienced, at least on Android, with the FastPass times, was when I clicked one, if it's not available, it automatically moved to the next one. So I could just continuously tap the hours, right? And go down the list to see if something was available. So it was very similar to the old FastPass system, the way it worked. So I could just continuously tap and not have to scroll it over, right? That made it a little faster as far as looking for time. So if you want to look for a specific time, I think it made that easier. I don't know if you've experienced being able to do it like that before, but if you pick a specific location, like say, this is what I want, and then you can just go through the day clicking each hour to see if there is a time at all.
Interesting. Okay.
So I didn't end up getting one based on that, but I have played with it, to see. And I feel like that could be very useful going forward. Now, I wasn't trying to get anything like Cinderella's Royal Table. One thing I did do, though, just for the heck of it, since I saw Cinderella's Royal Table was available, I was going to reserve it. But I had forgotten that they make you prepay. So when I put my party together and I saw it was going to make me charge to do it, I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. Because I didn't really want to go there anyway. I just wanted to see if I could reserve it and hold it for just in case. But as far as I know, that's the only one in which they make you pay up front. I imagine if you could still cancel in a reasonable time frame. But that's the only one I've seen in which they make you pay up front before you even get there. Like, you can't just reserve it 60 days in advance. You pay 60 days in advance for this experience. Interestingly enough, though, at the 60-day mark, there's some places I was kind of surprised I didn't see, like on any days. And since I was able to book my full length of my trip, right, starting on that day, I was kind of surprised at certain things I didn't see. Because, like, for instance, I never saw a Topolino's show up.
Yeah.
I never saw, believe it or not, a Le Cellier show up, which is kind of odd because I've seen it on Walk Up.
So are people just booking it 60 days out when their trip is, like, on their third or fourth day of their trip?
Maybe, but I'm questioning if some of the restaurants are not on a 60-day, like they're not doing it until it gets closer. Like they're select restaurants. I don't think they've announced it, but it makes me think that.
Or maybe they have a small percentage at 60 days from, any
Maybe
reservation, whatever.
Yeah. There's a part of me in my mind, just because of what we've seen on Disney Genie Plus, it's almost like they're directing you to where they want you to go once again, even with the dining reservations.
Like
So
they're
you have
trying
to
to spread it out again.
Yeah. It's what it feels like. It's what it feels like.
Lord.
So
crowd control, that's what they always try to do.
So if you want a specific place, you're going to have to be dedicated to checking just about every day until your trip if you want to get it. Now, there were some August times that showed up. Another thing, too, some of these days, the other thing that makes it harder is some of these days I was searching for a party of 8. Now, that automatically makes it harder.
That's always hard. Gosh, anything over like 6 is like impossible sometimes.
So some of it with me searching for a party of 8 does make it harder, but surprisingly, there's a lot more availability the earlier you do it for the bigger parties. That's another tip I would say when doing that. If you're going to have a larger dinner party, that's 60 days. Well, the way they have it right now, 60 days. In the future, it might be longer.
You mean like
again.
Earlier dinner time or earlier booking it in the morning? What do you mean?
Earlier to look for it. You want to do it as early as you can.
Early,
You want to go as 60 days if possible, right on the dot.
Sure.
Because you're more likely to find times for the larger parties than you would be, say, the day before. If you're doing it like day of, you're probably going to be at Paradiso 37 or whatever it is.
Yes, God, that one's always. It's like the one.
That's like the one restaurant that's always available.
It's always there. That or Planet Hollywood's it's almost always available.
It's there a lot.
A lot of Disney Springs stuff.
Yeah, there's been several, but the one that like always there, Paradiso 37. It's always available. So you're not going to go without food or without a table service. You could always go to Paradiso 37 if you want to. Although I think there's probably a reason behind that, but just
House of Blues is another one that's available a lot. Frontera.
Yeah, it's usually there a lot. Jaleo's is right. Isn't that how you say it? I think I've seen it a good bit.
Jaleo. It's available a lot. Rick's Sports Bar is available a lot.
Well, there's a reason behind that one. I can attest to that firsthand. So far, I've booked some things that I think would be good experiences for the kids.
Yeah.
I feel like they would enjoy Boma, so of course, staying at the hotel, I would do Boma.
Yeah, I feel like you got to do it there.
Yeah.
So what have you booked so far? Like what kind of things?
Oh, wow, you put me on the spot.
You don't remember? You can't remember?
I wrote them down in my diary so I wouldn't have to remember.
It's a Disney reference.
Okay, so I actually have Boma booked twice in the same day, which is probably going to change. Because I originally thought about doing the breakfast that next morning on Saturday.
Might as well just stay there all day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Never leave.
So, because what the plan was for Saturday was Boma for breakfast and then go to Animal Kingdom and then maybe park hop and then maybe just do pool or whatever. Interesting enough, I actually have 2 dinner reservations reserved, but because of the times, they didn't conflict.
Okay.
So I'm gonna obviously get rid of one of them, but I had reserved a homecoming for just in case early on, but it was a later time. It was like 20 till 9, so that's not likely we were going to use that one.
Art Smiths. Yeah.
Yep, I have the Bowman dinner for that Saturday. I grabbed an Oga's for just in case, but I'm probably not going to use that. That was on Sunday. I think I have that one. And I have a Sebastian's for just in case as well.
So these are all for 8?
The majority of these are.
Yeah. I was just curious if Oga's was 8 because I think they would still seat you at a table potential. Well, you could still potentially be at a standing table, but.
Well, see, I got that one. Like I said, I grabbed it to reserve it. But at the same time, I got to thinking about it. I was like, what am I really going to do here? I'm like, especially with the party that I have, because there's young kids, which they could probably do something. But at the same time, you guys have discussed about the drinks.
Yeah, the beers are great though. I do like the beers there, and the kids do have drink options. Non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah,
not a lot of food though.
Yeah, they look like they have a good selection of non-alcoholic drinks. Truthfully,
my son loves them.
Yeah, so I did have a what was it? I think I said that Sunday. I do have a Sebastian's later that evening, just in case.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of hard to find before, so that's another reason why I grabbed it. But I'm just not sure about the palate among our party altogether.
I see.
So I'm gonna try to keep everybody happy if possible. So
I got you.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Of course, over at Animal Kingdom, I'll have to at least get something at Satuli while we're there.
Yes, of course. That's the spot.
Animal Kingdom, though, overall I think it has good dining.
Yeah, agreed.
And more than just Satuli.
Sure.
But anyway.
But Satuli's the main one, main attraction.
Again, right now, tentative plan, like I said, Animal Kingdom that Saturday. Depending on how early we get there on Friday, maybe go to Epcot that night. That's what I have reserved at the moment. Mm-hmm. Just to, and might do dinner of some, I'm sure we'll do dinner of some kind there, but it might end up being a quick service. I don't think I'm going to reserve a table service. Believe it or not, there hasn't been much showing up for Epcot and table service wise. When I looked, so I don't know what that means, but and then there's always the possibility of joining a walk up if I do it at a timely manner.
Sure.
Hopefully it won't tell me I'm too far away to join walk up if I did it from the hotel.
Right.
It probably would.
Walk up.
So maybe I could look as soon as I get in the park or something. I would. The thing about it is for evening, I would go to Epcot just to watch their projection that they do. They call it something specific. I forgot what they called it, though. But the projection on Spaceship Earth, yeah, that's the best one. I would go and just watch that. It's really... Because being there, just seeing it is just... I don't know. There's just something about being in the atmosphere of watching it and that music that they have going right there at the entrance. It's just I don't know. It's my favorite of what they had there. It was a very good experience. Anyway, that's kind of the tentative plans right now.
Okay.
The one thing that changed with Sunday is we're doing Magic Kingdom on Sunday. I think that's what James they got scheduled for too. So, that should be interesting. That's one that I was trying to talk him into. I was like, we could do a Jungle Skipper Canteen if we do it at the right time. Try that. I don't know. He was kind of looking at the menu as far as like, what the kids would eat, and I'm like, I'm sure they can get them something. And just about anywhere can get them. If you ask, you can get stuff that's not on the menu.
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
I think, we, my 4-year-old is the picky one, and I think we got him, they always have, mac and cheese or something you can get him. So,
well, when we were at Steakhouse 71, as I mentioned, I think in my trip report, they didn't have chicken tenders on the kids' menu, but they just asked for their, our friends asked for their daughter because she was a picky eater, and they delivered.
Yeah, it's Disney. They'll find something for the kids. Yeah.
All right, so we kind of... got that still to look forward to. We can talk about the trip in the coming weeks after the holidays and everything. Let's hit a little news story. What do you think?
I agree. Let's do it.
Our episode aired not long after the Disney Plus day, but I don't think we got to talk about a little bit what was happening that day.
Yeah.
So, just little small things like, the Tower of Terror was blue. I guess they just put everything in blue for Disney Plus day.
I guess.
It seemed to me like it was not really that big of a deal, and I don't really get what they were thinking by doing this. I don't know.
It was just the anniversary.
Yeah, but it was not even the first anniversary, not the 5th, not the...
Okay, but it's right, but it's also the 50th. They haven't
Why would you add another celebration?
Yeah.
You didn't even do anything for Epcot's 40th.
Right.
that I could tell.
Not
Because
much.
it was the 50th on all of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So-
It's like even the 50th is kind of lackluster
Yeah.
for the most part.
Somewhat, except for they added nighttime shows.
Mm.
Speaking of nighttime shows,
Yeah. Do you want
how about the rumor?
Yeah.
Easy segue.
Yeah.
It's rumored
Yeah.
that Paint the Night Parade, which has been gone from California Adventure for how long now? It's been a minute.
2 or 3 years, right? I think.
Yeah.
Last time it was there.
As rumored to come to Walt Disney World. Now, I find this one a bit of a stretch personally, but I would like to see it on the East Coast.
I would love to see it. It's been rumored for a long time, and I actually did get to see it at Disneyland in 2016, I think, when I was there. And it's awesome. I do love that. And the music and everything is great. I really hope this is true. I'd be very excited if it did.
Well, the music is essentially, what was that?
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, but I know the Wreck-It Ralph theme, but what was the guy that did it? Owl City,
I think it is.
Owl City, that's it. That's the name of it, yeah. I couldn't remember the name.
The song.
Do you know what's interesting about Owl City is that he literally just like was messing around with like a keyboard and stuff in his dad's basement or something, and then he became a hit. I mean,
right. The Fireflies, I believe, was the hit that he came.
And he became a hit of it.
But this song, I love the.
Yeah.
What is the name of it? When Can We See You Again, or something like that? What's the name of it?
When can we do this again?
Or do it again? Yeah, do this again.
Maybe it's
Whatever.
do this again. Maybe it's do this again.
But yeah, it's basically the end credits of Wreck-It Ralph, the original. Fantastic, great version. They sort of work in the Baroque hoedown into it. The what is it? The Main Street Electrical Parade music as well. So yeah, fantastic parade. Love it. I hope it's true. I would be disappointed, of course, if it doesn't happen. But
so.
Yeah.
This is my personal feelings. If it were to come where it would go, I think Hollywood Studios.
Yeah,
That's what I
think that was another rumor that 2 parks would be considered, of course, Magic Kingdom, but also Hollywood Studios. I think the reasoning for Hollywood Studios is because a lot of people kind of leave before the end of the night there, and to kind of keep people to stay, give people a reason to stay.
You have people that are leaving, and then you have people that are in line for Rise of the Resistance. That's pretty much what it is at the end of the night.
Yeah, because usually, I mean, at least, the last several times I've been there, you could walk on Runaway Railway pretty quickly. And even Slinky Dog was under 30 minutes most of the time in the last hour or so. It would make sense to go to Hollywood Studios, but I think Magic Kingdom makes a lot of sense too. I mean, they always have the parades there, so I would much rather see this at Magic Kingdom because I feel like it can handle the crowds better than Hollywood Studios, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think it fits better at Hollywood Studios is my thinking. So
right, because they do have a lot of the floats that, like, they have Monsters Inc., they have Toy Story, which obviously fits there. They have Beauty and the Beast float, Frozen float,
I think
Incredibles.
it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was pretty Pixar heavy and compared to some of the other parades, which would fit better in Hollywood Studios. So, yeah, for that reason alone, I would think it would fit better in Hollywood Studios. It'd be the first time they had a nighttime parade at Hollywood Studios.
That's true.
And was it in Disneyland Park in California, or was it at California Adventure?
It did run at Disneyland because I saw it at Disneyland when I was there in 2016. I saw it at Disneyland.
But to me, it feels like a Hollywood Studios parade to me. But if they put it at Magic Kingdom, it would be okay in either. It's just obviously you can't really have a parade at Epcot, or I think nighttime parade at Animal Kingdom doesn't make sense either. Especially this parade, it doesn't even fit.
Right.
So,
but yeah, when you look at the list of floats that have been involved in this parade, like almost all of them are part of Hollywood Studios or have been part of Hollywood Studios in some way or another. Like Beauty and the Beast has the stage show, Toy Story has its own land, Little Mermaid has a show, Cars, Lightning McQueen has a show.
Right.
Incredibles had some things there. And Sorcerer Mickey, you could meet Sorcerer Mickey at Hollywood Studios, so...
You just got to put in a Wreck-It Ralph attraction.
Right.
At some point.
That'd be the only...
I wonder if they ever thought about doing that. That would be kind of cool if they could do something with him. Anyway.
It was rumored that the Stitch's Great Escape would turn into a Wreck-It Ralph thing, but
at one point in time.
But anyway.
All right, so let's kind of move into another one.
Yeah.
Disney parks state that they may reduce food portion sizes, which I think we touched on that last week.
Yeah, but did we talk about that earnings call with the CFO? I think was it the CFO that made the comment about the guests' waistlines could use the reduction?
Yeah.
Sort of that.
Yeah.
I know that blew up the internet last week with the.
Yeah, that's
Disney
kind of the
folks.
wrong way to put it.
Yeah.
I was always thinking that if they were going to reduce portions, they could do it in a fashion in which you wouldn't notice that much and still save a good bit of money. But
I feel like it depends on where you're at. Because if you're eating it. Oh, why can't I think of the name of it? The place at Animal Kingdom that has the.
Tiffin's?
If you're eating at Tiffin's.
You already think the portion sizes are small.
Like how can you reduce those anymore?
Well,
But,
I mean, I got to be honest. We felt bad when we were at Ohana because there was so much food left and they just took it off. And we were like, well, I hope they can give it to like a homeless person or something like that because there was a ton of food still left when they took the skillets away.
Sure.
I was like, but we just couldn't hold it all.
Yeah, there's like places like that have so much food, but then you go to like Cosmic Rays and get a burger, and you're like, wait, this is it? Like, I need more food than that. Stuff like that. It just depends on where you're at as to the portion size. Some of those portion sizes are huge, some of them are not that big. So, which ones are you gonna shrink? But I don't know.
They'll probably do it a little bit everywhere where only the trained eye will notice that it's smaller. Yeah. I mean, I know it's going to be kind of expensive to eat anywhere at Disney. My feelings wouldn't be hurt with some of the portions being smaller, truthfully, because I ended up, usually when I'm at Disney, I ended up stuffing myself in comparison to what I usually eat anyway. So that's how I feel. So if it was smaller, it wouldn't hurt me personally. But everybody likes to feel like they're getting their money's worth of something, right? So quality makes a difference in price too, not just amount, not just size. Size is not the only thing that matters when it comes to that.
But it does matter, right?
It has its place. All right. Anyway, something I came across: the Walt Disney Company invested $548 million less in domestic theme parks this year than they did in 2020, and I'm like, how is that even possible?
Dr. Evil.
Less money this year than they did last year, even. Maybe they had a pretty high number because they did a lot of refurb stuff and maintenance stuff while it was closed, perhaps, and they didn't have as much revenue. And I mean, because I know Disneyland did a lot. It seemed like when they were closed, but they were also closed the longest.
And speaking of Disneyland, Toontown will be closed for like a year. Next year
because they're redoing it.
Yeah, to make way for Runaway Railway and some other things. But so they are actively working over there. But I don't know. Magic Kingdom 50th year anniversary. The only thing that's coming is Tron, and it's been under construction for like 4 years now. So it
feels like it.
Yeah,
we don't even have a date for any of this stuff and we're almost at the end of 2021. We don't even have a date for these things.
Yeah, you would think they would at least say like spring 2022 or summer by now, but I guess they don't want to say
because it's not going to be.
They'll be criticized for how long it's taken. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest. By spring, I don't see either Tron or definitely not Guardians opening by spring.
I think summer is most likely for Tron.
I mean, you might get the railroad back by spring. I mean, maybe.
It's been far.
But other than that, I don't see anything else.
Anyway.
All right. A real quick note that I thought was kind of cool, just because it's Muppets involved.
Okay. Yeah.
Muppets Christmas Caroling takes over the omnibus for Merriest Nights at Disneyland. I thought that was pretty cool.
I know a lot of folks down here are jealous that they don't have this for the Disney World.
I mean, we have an omnibus.
I know. They should put them on there.
So they should do it.
That is cool. I like that.
Yeah. Will this influence you at all that Walt Disney World annual pass holders can save 30% off a D23 Gold membership now through November the 21st? Did you get that email?
I think I did. I haven't, because this weekend is the 50th event, the D23 event that sold out in seconds. So,
Right.
yeah, we're not going to be able to go. So it's like, well, even if I was a gold member,
You have to be a gold member?
or whatever it was. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think you did. Yeah. Or, yeah, I think so. But,
Do you have to love gold?
right. Pretty much.
Anyway.
Pretty much.
The new Coco scene has debuted at PhilharMagic. Have you seen that?
Oh, yes, I have seen
You left
it.
speechless.
I was
You left
like,
speechless.
I saw the California one, but yes, you're talking about Florida has opened now.
Yes, it's open
Yeah,
now.
Florida,
It has it there.
Mhm.
I mean, it had been seen.
Right.
I mean, as far because it had already happened in California, but it's available now in Magic Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah.
Finally.
To clarify.
Finally. Yeah.
So, yes.
I will go see this, but it's not like, oh, I have to go back and right now just so I can see PhilharMagic. But sure,
Well, I mean,
I'll be
yeah.
excited to see
While
it.
I'm there, I'm going to see it. I mean, just because it's new, right?
I'm curious how they made something that was made 20 years ago look, you know what I'm saying? Like how something brand new, how they blended it into to the existing show. I'm curious to see like how seamless it looks.
See it up close.
Right. Does it just look
Well,
completely different?
they've cleaned up and probably done the whole film as well. I think they did that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Like they
But
made it look.
still, some of the animation is pretty dated looking.
Yeah, I think they cleaned it up though. How long has it been since you watched PhilharMagic?
Not that
That's a
long,
better
actually.
question.
I think it was. I think I last saw it 2019, I believe. So it wasn't that long ago.
Okay. All right. Disney Plus news. They had revealed a lot of stuff that's coming. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the new one, I guess, is coming for the spring of this year. And we have Hocus Pocus 2 coming to the fall that a lot of people are looking forward to. Disenchanted, which is the sequel to Enchanted, will be in the fall on Disney Plus. A live-action Pinocchio, which I guess they decided that the live-action movies were doing better than they really are. So they're going to try another one.
Yeah.
And, of course, the big one that everybody wanted was Obi-Wan. The concept art has been revealed, and behind-the-scenes sneak peek is now available on Disney Plus, which I have not watched yet.
I haven't yet either. I saw that it was out there, but I haven't watched it yet.
And they even went so far in Disney Plus news as to say that there was going to be a first look, or we have a first look at the Tiana animated musical series, but that's not even going to be around for another year, 2023.
Wow.
We're already getting that out there.
Well, since you were talking about Disney Plus, you might as well bring up the Beatles documentary that's debuting,
Oh, okay.
Thanksgiving?
So not far.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. 8
Excuse
hours it's going to be. 3 episodes, 8 hours. Peter Jackson, I watched the 60-minute segment on it this last weekend, and it got me really excited about it because, they basically are saying everything you thought you knew about that, and how that was such a bad time. It actually isn't as bad as we were led to believe based on that other documentary that came out that I never really saw because you can't really find it anywhere.
Well, it's really not all that surprising because I don't think Peter Jackson knows how to make anything under 3 hours.
Yeah. Well,
Based on the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Right. Well, they said that there was 57 hours of footage that was available for this to put together, and even more audio. So interesting, they have so much, and they haven't done anything with it in 50 years. So I'm excited for it. I think it'll be interesting to see. That's what I'm going to be doing all weekend. That weekend, I can tell you that.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely something I'll watch for sure.
Oh yeah.
So moving back to the parks again, CDC no longer recommends fully vaccinated individuals wear face coverings indoors in Orange County, Florida. That is at this time, so Disney has not announced anything for themselves, but it makes you think that they might. They're probably going to be slower to roll this back again, as we discussed before.
Yeah.
They have not officially announced anything yet.
I'm going to say this to Jason, since he's probably listening. I went to the grocery store without a mask. Like, I was in there for 10 minutes. But I was like, I'm boosted. It's been over 2 weeks since I've been third shot boosted, so I'm going to
Test the water.
test the waters. And it was a little weird, but I did it. And so I'm like, okay, I did it. We'll see how it goes. But
you got back into the pool.
Sort of.
BP's water park.
Ooh, Lord. But COVID cases are on the rise. I keep hearing in the U.S. now. Again, big shock, but I don't know.
So we can point this next story to Jason as well if we want to.
Point it at him. Point it all the way.
Yeah, point it at him because it says Magic Kingdom will close early, as in 4:30 on January the 25th, 2022, and it's likely because a special event is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that enchantment will not be performed that day, and park hopping will still be available after 2.
I believe they said, though, it was a cast member appreciation thing or something.
I haven't seen that it's anything official yet, so if you've seen something, you've seen more than me.
It says reportedly it is to allow the cast member service awards, which recognize career milestones for cast members in a private event at the park. But that's the rumor.
Reportedly.
Yeah, it's not necessarily what it is.
So this is in a move that is non-Disney related, but their competition. I just wanted to mention this because it was kind of a breaking thing.
Wait, Disney has competition?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Universal Studios.
What? Never heard of it. No, I have
Tom
now.
Williams is retiring, and Mark Woodbury is to become the CEO of Universal Parks and Resorts in 2022. So they're having a change-up in the CEO.
Is he?
So, and the reason I bring that in is because it could have an effect.
It could.
You never know.
Is he their Chapek, or is he their, like, Eisner?
Savior?
Right.
Who knows? He's already been in a leadership position there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, in that sense, it's similar.
It's either like an Iger or a Chapek situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Woodbury is the current vice chairman of Universal Parks and Resorts, so almost exactly the same thing, right? What was Chapek's position considered again?
Yeah, I think it was
very similar.
Parks and Resorts, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, it was very similar.
The DeMauro. It seems to be the current trend of future CEO would be the Parks and Resorts chairman or whatever you call it.
It's like the CEO in waiting.
Right.
That's what they are at that point. Speaking of CEOs of companies like Disney's, like Mr. Bob Chapek, for instance.
Who's that again?
Excuse me, Dr. Evil, Hank, Mr. Clean, whichever one you want. He's been pulled from Destination D23 appearance. It was reported that they had a fear that the fans would boo him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then later it was kind of said that Disney said it was a scheduling conflict.
Right. That's PR speak for, yeah, you're right. He's going to get booed, so we don't want him to get booed.
Is a possibility that is a real possibility.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he would definitely get booed. I don't care where he's at. He's going to get booed.
You think so?
Yes. It doesn't matter if they all paid
a
lot to be there, and yeah, he would get booed. Somebody would boo him.
I don't remember hearing any booing during the fireworks thing or whatever it was they did that night whenever they pushed the button.
Yeah, because there was nobody. There were only a handful of like media people were there.
It was only people who were paid to be there. No.
Right. It wasn't actual fans. Now the next morning when they did GMA, there was video of people heckling him that morning when he was out there. It's just probably what led to this going like, oh, okay, bunch of hardcore Disney fans. Yeah, they're gonna boo me.
Well, he's not very popular at the moment, at least, and not likely to ever be.
I'm sure his approval rating is below 41%. So,
you think so?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Do they even measure an approval rating?
They should.
See?
We should do a poll, actually, and find out what his approval rating is somehow.
All right, so I wanted to talk about this because apparently there was a StarWars.com group that got to do I guess you could call it a test flight on the Star Cruiser recently.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
I don't know how to go about this, but they basically gave some reviews on it. It's kind of hard to, because they're not leaking too much information. But, I mean, they did get to do some things like trying out the lightsabers. Of course, they're going to have good things to say because they got to do like a private experience, right? I'm sure they would have the best time of anybody. I mean, I would too. Right. If I
for free
were able to do all this stuff and do all this stuff with nobody around, of course I'm going to love it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing.
The first time doing the training droid, lightsabers, I mean, everything. So I can't really do the whole review, obviously, in here.
Did they do the shuttle to Batuu?
That's a good question, because I don't see that hit here in that. But basically, when they talk about boarding the Star Cruiser, the terminal that welcomes you is like an earthy bunker, gray stone. Seems to blend in with its surroundings. It says the minute you step into the launch pod, that changes. There's a viewport on the ceiling. You'll see yourself hurling toward the sky, similar to I guess what the elevator is doing with Space 220, right? Similar effect.
Right. That's kind of what I thought.
Beyond the Clouds to the Stars with a Halcyon Star Cruiser awaits. And the play test allow Imagineers a chance to see how audience responds to the project, and a quick tour to give visitors on this trek an overview of the massive space before they're pulled into action. So that kind of gives you that at the beginning. Bunks, they say they're not as small as they appear in photos. They say a 6 foot tall passenger can comfortably lie down in one of the capsule-like sleeping quarters.
Oh, okay. One of the bunks. You mean up top, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Okay. They're saying that if someone who is 6 feet can still lay down comfortably. So
okay, well, that's good to know.
However, there's still a standard double bed on the opposite side. So, yeah.
Seriously, come on, man. If you're paying that much, God.
Oof. Yeah.
Come on.
That's what it says. It said a standard double bed is bolted to the wall with space for luggage underneath, of course. So that's true everywhere. Simple table with 2 stools below the viewport. A blast shield that can be lowered when it's time to rest, I guess.
But with the blast shield down, I can't see anything.
I think that's the whole point.
Oh, I get it.
So I guess you can have a choice, I guess, to look out into space or to put the blast shield down so you can no longer see space if it's be better for your sleep, I guess. So if you put the
blast shield down, they turn the TV off, essentially. So like blast shields go down at midnight, folks.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe that's what they do. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because I would literally have that thing on all night if I was in there. Unless they force you to turn them off.
Right. They say the dining hall looks almost exactly like the concept art with more velvet seating and plush blue-green gold accents and stunning light fixtures. Mm-hmm. They described it as something straight out of Canto Bite.
Oh, Lord. Can I ride one of those giant horse things through and destroy it?
Yeah. Anyway, without trying to get too deep into this.
Yeah.
Because it would go on a long way.
Sure.
So you can just find out there these reviews right now. We don't want to go too deep into it until we probably did our own review at some point, which I don't know that we're going to be doing that. Or we'll be talking about it once someone else goes on it for the first time.
Yeah. Wait, I think we missed our chance to book the first one. First month.
Yeah, well, seeing as how it's booked for the first 3 months. I would say we have, and we weren't really eager to do it anyway, right? Not to jump onto the. I mean, don't get me wrong. We would like to for the sake of research, if nothing else. But at the same time, I was not going to try to beat the level of fandom that was going to be trying to go after this. Right. So,
yeah,
a couple of things here. Obviously, it's not a hotel. As far as characters, there is actually some characters you would recognize on board. For instance, like Chewbacca. Apparently, if some things go wrong, you'll come face to face with a Kylo Ren. Maybe this lightsaber training. I don't know.
Yeah,
interesting things, storyboard things.
They've hinted at that, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah. All right. So, Rock and Roller Coaster, the guitar is uncovered. That was one of the most recent stories we had here, so it's back. I haven't seen anything as far as saying it looks all that. I guess it's all shiny and new.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Shiny.
So do we think, I mean, we talked about the
possibility of it going away.
Right. Yeah. So they refurbed the giant guitar. So it seems like, why would you do that if they're about to refurb it or remodel it to some other attraction? So again, it's probably got saved because of all the budget cuts and everything. So they're just like, just leave it.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think they probably had to update the fact that Haynes no longer sponsors the attraction,
That's
right?
one of the things. But I thought they took that off already. But maybe part of it was that. I think they bought this attraction at least 5 more years as is because of COVID. They're not going to bother changing
You think that's it?
Yeah. I think that's part of it.
I think the only thing that would change is, because Mr. Chapek likes IP, so I think the only thing that they would possibly change is the theming of it. I don't think they would change the coaster itself.
Yeah, I could see them making this an Incredicoaster type attraction.
It's possible they can make the East Coast version of Incredicoaster. Mm-hmm. I would really hate to do that copycat though, because it's not the same ride.
Yeah,
all you would add is you would add effects into it that would be similar to what they did with the actual Incredicoaster.
It has a launch, which you could do the dash launch, and then you could add parts during the ride where you have Jack and the rest of them doing different things in the dark. But You could add certain effects to it, yeah. And the end could still be the Edna Mode end. You just build the little thing at the end, you know.
We were just talking about Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, the vehicles are already set to be limos. Why can't they be set to be the race cars or whatever? You know,
potentially
from
the Candy Crush or Candy Rush, whatever it was. What was it called?
What was it called now?
Candy Rush, I think it was.
It's been a minute since I watched it. Maybe that's what it's called, Candy Rush.
I think it was
instead of Candy Crush.
Right, something like that.
King Candy. But yeah, they could retheme it to that. That's fast, right? They drive fast in that.
I guess. I think Incredibles would be the most likely to me, but
you have a number of things you could pick. Why not do the? Well, it'd be hard to make it look like the Monsters Inc. door thing that people have been talked about doing before, but that would be cool too. If they could come up with an attraction building or make it out of the scene with the doors from Monsters Inc. You know what I'm talking about?
I guess, but it doesn't seem as likely to me. But
no, I'm not saying they could do it there, but I'm thinking it would be a good concept for a ride.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Period.
Yeah, I would like it. You can just hang on to a door for instead of being in a roller coaster, you're just holding on to a door. Strapped to a door.
I think that might be a little bit of a lawsuit.
You could be strapped to
Potential.
it. You could strap to a door.
Just strap you to the door.
Okay. And you just go through like this ride.
Yeah. All right. What do we have? We have anything else we want to put through here? I don't think we do. Like I said, it's kind of a slow news week. But
yeah, not really. I mean,
do you have anything you want to touch on?
The only thing I was thinking of to mention was the fact that there's anticipating 1.6 million travelers this Thanksgiving holiday to going through Orlando. Yeah, you did, didn't you?
So we got to do that. Yeah, because of the travel bans, I guess, being lifted internationally. So, and now they have, I guess, pent-up desire to go to Disney.
I saw a stat the other day that Orlando was I think it was the top U.S. destination internet from like UK or from Europe this month, I think. So it's no surprise that Disney and I would also say families are coming from the UK again because they haven't been able to for so long. So it makes sense that they're coming back in droves. So yeah, makes sense. So I'm sure Disney will see quite the uptick this week in attendance. So
okay,
and that's almost pre-pandemic levels, by the way, from what I've seen. It's just shy of 2019 numbers. So very similar to pre-pandemic numbers. That's a good sign if you're in the travel industry. That's a very good sign because we haven't seen that in 2 years. So
right, or almost
right.
So yeah. Do you have any thoughts about when you're going to go back yet?
I don't yet. It's surprising. I'm considering towards the end of the year, maybe something like the pre-New Year's, but I don't know yet. Don't have anything solid planned yet.
Gotcha. Okay. The next time that I'm going to be looking at doing probably really soon, and I'm actually considering renting points maybe, but would be spring break time.
The spring bake.
So. Spring break time. Yeah.
No, I get you.
Which, of course, is a little busier, but I don't really care that much about that quite so much anymore because I know it's not like crazy like Christmas or anything. But at the same time, I'm not going with the objective of like having to do everything. Yeah. So that's where it's different. It's like whatever you get done, you're satisfied with. You're taking your time. You're actually enjoying the parks when you go to the parks. That's the thing. So,
yeah,
just try and you take that initiative or try to take that perspective, I should say, and you'll have a good time. Mm-hmm. We keep saying that, though, anyway. Right. One thing I did want to mention, I thought of it earlier, and I just rethought of it. Mm-hmm. I guess that's the way to put it. We know Everest is going to be going down soon for rehab. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been announced what their lightning lane is going to switch to. I think the obvious is going to be Navi. but I don't know if it's a guarantee,
Right, that's
especially
a
with
good
Disney choosing Everest in the first place, because I think Everest is the least needed lightning lane of all the current ones anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, can you think of another one that's needed less than than Everest? All right, because you have
Frozen.
all right. Let's just go MK. You have
Those two are
Mine-
popular, so yeah.
Mine Train in Space. So no, those are at Epcot. You have Remy and Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen somewhat.
Might be
need it.
over.
Yeah, potentially.
You're thinking Test Track could probably benefit from it more than Frozen.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Although I heard somebody make an interesting argument about Frozen for the international audience that's coming now, like the UK folks, because they don't have a Frozen attraction, say at Disneyland Paris yet. So there's nothing in the world like Frozen Ever After currently. So
They don't have Test Track either.
that's true, but they were making the case for Frozen, like, to be a popular lightning lane this fall because the international folks are coming in, and that's like it's a big thing for them. I'm like, that's interesting. I've never thought of it from that angle before, but maybe we'll see if the numbers jump. This starting now, we'll see.
We shall see.
But yeah, you're right. For Everest by far is the least needed one. So yeah, would they do Navi or would they do Safari? That would be the only two I would think would be
right. Those are your options.
Potential ones, yeah.
Because I can't see any other attraction being the one that they would move it to. Or do they just revamp something altogether by this point? Because, like I said, it's getting close to the time period when it's going to be closed, right? Isn't it going to be by January?
I think so, yeah.
So,
or do they just not have two at Animal Kingdom? Or is that silly to say that they would not have
I would
two?
think they would have to switch it. I think they should switch it anyway.
I think they should not.
So while it's down yeah.
Anyway.
So which one do you think is most likely for Disney? Since obviously they chose Everest the first time,
Then it would be
which one do you think is the most
Safari.
obvious?
I would say Safari.
You think it would be the Safari?
That's what I would think. Yeah.
I think you might be right because I know Navi still has a little bit longer of a wait, but Navi has really dropped off compared to what it was when it first opened, in my opinion. You know, the wait times, I think it's dropped off more so than any of the other new attractions. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Is that what you see? I mean, its wait time used to be pretty high back when it was first opened.
Yeah.
And now it can be, I mean, to me, 30 minutes is nothing compared to what it was once.
Sure. Yeah, agreed.
The only times that I've ridden it, once was a fast pass and once was walk on because it was the early hours. So that's really the only two times I've ridden it. I have ridden Navi, which I enjoy. It's a relaxing ride. But you don't care for it too much, I know.
It's okay. I mean, it's fun.
You expected more.
They blew their budget on the one animatronic.
I could see where a lot of people would say that. I don't think it's entirely fair because there's a lot of theming in there.
Yeah.
Just saying. There's a lot of stuff they spend a good bit of money on.
But then there's a lot of screens too. It's kind of some of those are obvious.
Well, depending on the day, you might even see the shaman be a screen.
Which I have seen once. So anyway.
All right. Well, I believe that wraps up this episode of Traveling with the Mouse. So, as usual, you can find us on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. That is all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store in which you can find your exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. We also have a YouTube channel. You can find the link to that and more where, Adam?
On our website, travelingwiththemouse.com. You can email us podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. And if you want to book a Disney trip, you can use our travel agent friend, Jill Dilbeck, at gmail.com. And she has a shipboard credit special through Black Friday. If you're listening to this before Black Friday and you book a cruise through her, you can get a shipboard credit. Email her for details.
All right. For Adam, I am John. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip. And maybe you'll see Jason there.
Maybe you will.